Libra. So I'm catching up on these. I've got one more day. Hopefully I can get all 12 done this week and be right back on track. Feeling pretty much on track as we go. All right, so let's take the Dragon Tarot and do a general spread for Libra and see what kind of energy is up and going for Libra. For those of you on my other social media platforms, not Facebook, but Instagram and Facebook, if you guys go to my YouTube Karma on Deck, you'll be able to see the picture there. I love your company there. All right, here we go. 9 of coins, 4 of coins, strength card, 10 of coins, 2 of wands. Something about this particular layout is telling me that Libra is looking for an opportunity to travel or to enjoy. Maybe it's the holidays that you're looking to find your way into experiencing family, and you're trying to negotiate and navigate your travel plans, or to see if you can make that happen. The thing that's so this is 9 of Cups, which is travel, fun, and celebration. We have holidays coming up. That might be what's on your mind. But we have the 4 of Coins, which is how we're going to gather money. Interesting, dead center of the spread is the Strength card. And this sometimes has to do with health, and sometimes it has to do with intensity. The Strength card really talks to us. Oh, there went an earring. Of course, one earring it is. Okay, so the Strength card talks about an intensity of trying to focus to get things done, pulling all the pieces in together, and it takes extreme focus. Otherwise, this card refers to us having wisdom, using past experience to make better choices in our future, and that like hard line that it puts us against. We have 2 cards, one for indecision and one for making a decision. Things are kind of black and white in your mind. However, you're tossing things back and forth. Devil on one shoulder, angel on the other, tossing them back and forth between these 2 different mental modalities, thinking, oh, should I this or should I that? I also see for you, Libra, that you're doing some internal, looking at yourself and reflection. We have the Temperance card, which is balance. This is heavens here, angels giving and taking. And we're looking for that balance in our life. You can't serve from an empty cup. So we're really looking at how we can offer ourselves or what we can participate in, etc. So far, you've got a bunch of Cups cards, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've also got the Chariot. There's the Chariot. So that's travel. So that's the one that talks about intensity. Sorry, I was totally channeling the Chariot card when I was talking about the strength and intensity. I'm glad it showed up because it's appropriate. So like I said, the Chariot card talks about travel, and it also talks about you being, this horses are both looking 2 different directions, yet the person that's driving the Chariot has to kind of get these 2 to think and work together, which takes a lot of intensity. And again, the Strength card is all about you having that wisdom, that internal compass that tells us to use our expected, outcome, to use our wisdom and past experience to navigate and articulate. We have the Justice card in the dead center of your reading here, which has to do with anything from legal matters, which go on paper, to consequences of legal matters. That would be the result of a divorce or result of a house sale, neither being good or bad, but just where you sit with it. So what legal matters are going on for you? We also have the Hierophant. And these paired together, the Chariot, the Justice, and the Hierophant together, tell me that's a powerful trifecta that talks about consequence, education, and intensity. So if you have some really intense energies going on right now, what the end result card of this is the Ace of Wands, and that's new beginnings. Ace of Wands is functional. It puts you in a place of, I didn't do Leo, Gloria. That was an accidental typo. So we'll get there. We're in Libra right now. So Leo. So Ace of Wands is our card for new beginnings. Wands being work. Aces being trump cards and new beginnings and a pivotal moment. So I'm seeing a lot of change for you. Again, there's another card here for you representing love and emotions and relationship. 7 of Cups talking to us about being overly burdened with a bunch of tasks, and it's more so like too much opportunity, right? This is like the Fool card in times 10, which diffuses some of the energy, makes it a little more scattered. So if you're feeling like you've got way too many things on your plate, or to choose from, really, it's like only having so much of an appetite and being at a buffet. Which ones are you going to pay for, and which ones are going to be the better choice? You also have the Ace of Cups. So I always say this, though, love and money seem to go hand in hand. You have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, right? Love Cups. So emotionally, and if you ever think about this, like you meet a new partner and suddenly you're like in a really good mood at work, or you get a raise at work and you feel more magnanimous in your relationships, buying gifts for your kids or spending time with your partner, etc. So the Ace of Cups has to do with new beginnings in love, and then Ace of Wands. So where is it in your life that you feel like you want to take more direction? Because this often talks about leadership and decision making. So as you're thinking about what to do next, I see that Libra is stuck right in the middle, as per usual. Six of one, half dozen of the other. Then you have this here, indecisiveness, the Two of Wands. That's so interesting to me to get these in the way that we do. And then you're looking at every single decision that you're making and picking it apart in the Temperance card. This is looking in the mirror, right? So here's the thing. This is your goal. This is the balance that you're looking for. You're looking for external and internal balance. You want your outside world to match your inside world, and you want things to run a little bit smoother. Your crutch here, Libra, is this indecision. You're sitting on the fence way too much about too many things, and you feel as if you gather more information, you'll make a better decision. What's true is this brain of yours has done the math. You literally have more information in here than you really need. Most of the time we take pieces that are irrelevant and we kind of pick them apart. But what's true is your subconscious mind does the math. And so my question is to ask you whether you're spending time in meditation. Are you listening to that voice? Because I can tell you right now, if you're making decisions, you can really break the equation down into whether if it's a hell yes or a hell no. Instinctually, your body will be like, I don't like it. Well, take a look and say, what is it I don't like? Right? What is it I don't like about it? And so you can do that, or you can just trust yourself and go, there's something there that isn't for me, and it'll show itself later, and just trust yourself. Magical work is just trusting yourself. You don't have to know all the answers in order to make a decision. You can make a decision because ultimately stagnancy prevents the universe from continuing to bring you options. So not making a decision, it's just nothing is good enough, right? Or nothing is perfectly right, which it never will be. So if you give the universe, I've made many mistakes making choices without thinking. However, I learned something from it, and I'm grateful that I didn't sit, because that motion perpetuated something else. And if you find out it's something you don't want, well, at least you won't have to visit that again, because now you know that you know. Let's pull some cards from the Mystic Dreamer and see what your Libra moon is looking like. For those of you that are watching, if you'd like to get a one-on-one, reach out to me, karmaondeck.com, and book your one-on-one. Attend any of the coaching or classes that I have. One-on-one coaching for spiritual mentorship, meditation, Reiki, astrology, tarot. I get you a foundation of each and an understanding of each. If you're interested in any of them, it allows you a little bit of exploration and a taste of each one, so you can decide which one you want to take on as a full meal. But it always begins with meditation. I teach you technique, not ideology. So I'd make sure very carefully that I don't tell you what to think. I teach you how. And so that is my spiritual mentorship premise. I also teach tarot. So if you're interested in any of that, hit me up. You know where to find me. Let's take a look and see. Oh, also please join me on my YouTube. I have goals there that I'd like to set. Plus it's my most favorite platform. To be honest, I love it. So if you come onto YouTube, I would really appreciate your support. So Karma on Deck over there too. All right, Libra moon, you have the Magician here, which is the major two. Oh, you have the Ace of Wands, which was your ending card of your general spread. There's always congruencies between the two. And again, you also have the Justice card. So the Justice card, again, is a consequence. We call that one the Karma card. Yes, the energy is so thick right now. Bad dreams, chaotic. I've noticed a lot of mental and psychological breaks with my clients lately, maybe not with them in particular. Not saying people are breaking down, but they're noticing that people in their life are having these mental breaks. And so that's why this work is so important to take seriously. It can twist your brain a little too far to the corners of the matrix, and once you start slipping out, you wonder where your structure is, and so it can trip you crazy. So treat it with a little bit of respect. Come to ground often. The energy is thick and chaotic. We have an eclipse coming up, so make sure you spend some time in this transformational phase. So the transformational phase right now is all about coming into a harvest of some beauty. We've spent a whole 6 months reprogramming our bodies from the eclipse in the early spring. So now we're going to see the results of that. Okay, so we have the Knight of Coins for you. So there's this big worry about money yet again for you. So these are very synchronistic. And the Knight of Pentacles talks to us about spending money or being frivolous with it or worry that you might. So ultimately, you might say no to some things. You're anticipating an argument and you're making sure that this doesn't happen. You're also making sure you have the Temperance card. These are your congruency cards right here. All three of these are a theme with you. Now, the Justice card is common for Libra right now. Scales. So the one thing I'd like to mention though, you're coming from gratitude. I'm ahead of myself. So I have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is that mentality of growing where you're planted, feeling stuck, yet you are making the best of a poor situation or making the best of what you've been given. I make refrigerator soup all the time. What vegetables do I have? What meats do I have? What can I make here? How can I make a bread? And this is like, the premise is like, what is it that you have? What are you able to utilize to build things in a little more beautiful way? We have the Seven of Swords, right? And so with the Magician, what it is taking this mentality and speaking to it and saying, I can do better with this. And this is my lot, yet I can do well. You have the Death card, the Magician, the Temperance, the Justice. But there's this thread here also, the Sun. Okay. So the Death card is transformation. So we're at the cusp of some big transformation. So for you, we're going to begin to see what these consequences look like. And with the Seven of Swords in play, you have the Balance card, right? Temperance. So what your ultimate goal is to achieve balance so that there's not these wild pendulum swings. The one thing that I'm most worried about for you, Libra, is intermittent hopelessness and depression. And I'm going to speak to it. This card talks about, faith and emotions and depression. And so what's worrisome about this is the normal structures that we're used to going to or that we're taught to, church, etc., or different mechanisms that we use for finding faith have been failing us. And so therefore we feel like it's supple and not rock solid. And so we've lost a little bit of that faith. This is borderline depression because we also have the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from things. If you are feeling depressed or you're feeling frustrated, which the holidays seem to engender, even if it's not clinically so, we do get in our heads about relationship, about family dynamics, etc. And we can sometimes have depression, and it's smart to talk about this. What are some of the things you can do for depression? Change your routine. One of the first things I recommend is getting up in the morning and getting ready like you're going to either an interview or a date. And in this way that you look and feel better, you're going to shave your legs, shave your face, use your cologne, wear something nice that you feel good in. Doing that changes your mental state. Also, I would recommend getting off electronics for a day or two in order to take that level of anxiety that comes up, because we get oxytocin and these kicks from, pleasure as we go through these things, and find alternative ways to bring yourself pleasure, whether that's taking a walk or a bath or doing yoga or reading a book that you haven't had a chance to, or art. Finding an activity that takes you out of the game for a little while so that you can readjust and recalibrate, even just for a couple days, and do something special for yourself. Even if you can't afford it, maybe soaking your feet or doing something for the body to comfort that thought process and kind of shift it a little bit and move it. Ho'oponopono, heal it. I forgive myself. I love me. I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to this sooner, right? So what I can see again and again is that Libra is paying attention to family dynamics and money right now. This is just something that's focused and circling around you, and you're just looking for balance. I would have to say that balance for you right now, which is interesting because they're all Libra and the scales. How do you find that middle ground? Seek it. Seek the middle ground. Don't look to the extremes so much and trust yourself. Let's pull a card from Divination of the Ancients and see what your focus is for this week. Alchemy. So spells and alchemy. Okay. So are you doing things intentionally? So alchemy literally means putting the intention out there and then putting the mechanism behind it. What chemicals are you putting into your activities to make them work? Is it action? Is it phone conversations? Is it organization? So alchemy has to do with action, activity, and ingredients. So what are your ingredients? That's what it's asking you to take a look at. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to do one more video, and then I'm going to get back to class. I want to thank you, and I'll catch you.